Hello, this is Yvonne Halling from Bed and Breakfast Coach, and today I am delighted to be interviewing two lovely ladies from Western Australia, Becki Shaver and Maggie Van Santen, who run Hideaway Haven in Albany in Western Australia. Hello, girls.
Hello. Hi, Yvonne. So nice to see you, meet you.
It's very, very lovely to see you girls. I'm so happy for you, and I've been following you for a couple of years, so I'm delighted to have you on the interview today. So, let me just ask you, just introduce yourself. Tell us about your B&B and its location.
Okay, well, we're located in Albany. Well, our bed and breakfast is called Hideaway Haven, and we're just a little hidden away haven in Albany, which is on the southern coast of Western Australia, about 400 kilometres southeast of Perth. We have a beautiful temperate climate. And at the moment, Perth is experiencing a heat wave, and we're fully booked this weekend because everybody's coming down to Albany to escape the heat.
Fabulous. So how long have you been running your B&B?
At Christmas time, we've been open 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah, and it's we built it, so it's a custom built bed and breakfast. We live on the side of a hill, and we live on the top floor, and the accommodation, which is 3 bedrooms and a large common area, is sort of underneath the house, but they still have awesome views.
Separate entrance for them. They walk down the stairs, and their level is about 5 meters off the ground. So we're a pole home, not touching any of the ground at all, on 48 poles. So they have gorgeous views from their decks.
Yeah, I looked online at your website. It looks fabulous. So what's your background and what led you to open a B&B?
Well, my background's in business management, and Becky's is in counselling. We built our home originally 10 years ago, and then we went on a trip around the world, and we stayed in lots of B&Bs, especially through Europe. And we were just so impressed by, the passion that bed and breakfast owners have for their region. And we always sort of thought we'd love to run a business together. And, so we didn't have to say goodbye in the mornings and then catch up again in the afternoon. So we thought, well, why not do a bed and breakfast? And a lot of people had said to us, why don't you use the space that's underneath your house and build something? So 7 years ago, that's exactly what we did. And with my business management skills and marketing, I do that side of it, and Becki does the people side, and she manages the staff and welcomes the guests, and that's the part that she's really good at.
I imagine that having a counselling background comes in very useful.
Well, with a lot of communication skills and expertise, yes. But yeah, I mean, we meet all sorts of people from all over the world with, different needs, and we're both pretty intuitive to what personal tastes are and what people are after, and really how to keep them satisfied with a wonderful and memorable experience staying at Hideaway Haven in the Albany region.
Fabulous. So the type of guests you attract, they're mainly international? Are they from Australia? Where would you say they come from?
Well, 50%, and this year it's sort of the stats have gone up to about 55% are actually from Perth. Wow. 20% are then from the rest of Australia, and about 30% are international guests. The majority of our international guests are from England and Switzerland, Germany. We get a lot of people from there as well. We don't tend to attract a lot of people from America because we're kind of on the wrong side of Australia. They tend to fly into Sydney and
they
stay
think
on that
so
side.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we do get, and we love our international guests and sharing stories and places where they live and their history, and it's one of the real fun parts of the job.
I mean, really, in the 7 years, we probably had almost every country represented stay at Hideaway Haven. And it's been amazing, just experiencing cultural differences and talking mostly with seasoned travelers as our guests, really. So they have the experience of traveling, they have the experience of, you know, staying at bed and breakfast, and we just compare notes and they tell us about their experiences, and yeah, it's really good. We also get quite a good population of guests from Asian countries as well, because, you know, we're that close. So that's another countries.
market,
Yeah.
Brilliant. So how do you attract your guests then? How do you reach those people?
We mainly online. We don't do any print advertising at all. We've found, and we have, when we first started, we found that it really doesn't lead to bookings. Our website is primarily our source of bookings, and we have a very active web page. I do lots of blogs, and it rates really high in the SEOs. TripAdvisor is also another one when people are coming to Albany. We find people have made the decision to come to Albany, then they look for a place to book. They don't come to us because of us. So we just need to make sure that we're visible online to anybody that wants to book a holiday in Albany. And we've found that our page, we're on a couple of the tourism sites, like Australia Southwest. We are on booking.com and Agoda and that, but we don't really get a whole lot of bookings through those ones. We try not to, as you know, commission.
Absolutely. So what is your rough percentage of repeat guests? Do you get a lot of repeat guests?
Not a lot. I think last year it was 11% was repeat. Well, repeat or recommended. I've put them kind of in the same category.
Yeah.
People come to Albany for a holiday, and then next time they want to go for a holiday, they go somewhere else. The repeat guests are generally people that have come here and fallen in love with Albany or us, and then come back for either a special occasion. We've had couples stay here and say, oh, we're coming back when our parents visit us from England, and so they're kind of the repeat guests that we will get.
Yeah. Well, word of mouth is very, very powerful, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. And that's what, I mean, we aim to give people an experience, not just a place to stay, so that when they go away, they take the experience with them, and it's something that, you know, creates memories, and it just keeps us, with our newsletters, it keeps us in their forefront if they're ever headed down this way.
Yeah, very important. So do you offer any other products or services apart from rooms and breakfast?
Well, yes.
We do. We went to Italy a couple of years ago, and we did cooking classes in Italy, and have come back with some really amazing Italian dinners. So we offer Italian dinners to our guests, but it must be booked prior to arrival. Yeah. We also work with a lady who does yoga and massages. So we offer R&R weekends where people can do sup yoga classes or aerial yoga, normal yoga, and she also offers raw food cooking or raw food demonstrations. And then we have sort of some pamper weekends. We do a baby moon, which is really popular. So a couple expecting a baby, they come down. We organise a beautiful dinner for them, massages, and a photo shoot, just to, you know, as a reminder of the pregnancy. So yeah, we do that. We also have a jacuzzi, which sits under the open skies and under a trillion stars, which can be pretty romantic.
Yeah.
We just really offer a lot of added value services as well. We have cheese platters. We cater for every nutritional need or allergy or request. We do a lot of advance organization for people that are planning either an engagement or proposal, or you know, a surprise birthday. We do, you know, flowers and cakes and presents and picnic baskets, and so really we try to cover it all.
Yeah. Cover everybody's needs.
Yes.
So
Right.
are you using, you mentioned blogging before, are you using social media to attract guests?
We do use social media. I mean, we're pretty active on Facebook and Twitter, and just started on Instagram. I don't know that it actually attracts guests, but again, you know, guests that come here, they'll check in, share photos, make a connection. And again, it's just sort of something that stays at the forefront of their mind in case they ever come back this way, or somebody mentions, oh, by the way, I'm going to Albany. Well, you really should stay at Hideaway Haven. I don't know really that in our line that social media is the right way to attract guests. But
yeah, it's hard to measure. It's very hard to measure, although it kind of, for me, it kind of backs up everything else that I do online.
Well, that's what it does. And
Yeah.
it's also, you know, like I blog and I put the links up on social media, and then that attracts people to the website.
Yeah.
And the more people you get to your website, the better your SEO is. So it's kind of a bit of a circle.
Yeah.
People that read about, you know, us being wildlife carers and taking on a couple rescued kangaroos and joeys, they're really interested, you know, ahead of time in meeting the kangaroos. And for a lot of people, and even for Aussies, it's the first time they've ever been that close or bottle fed a kangaroo. So that's become, not that we push it as as selling the kangaroos to, you know, get people to come stay with us, but it is a little bit of an added experience, you know, for guests as well, that they thoroughly enjoy. And we don't share it with everybody, but people that are aware of it because of social media and the blogging and the pictures are always very anxious to hear about the kangaroos and meet them as well.
Well, there aren't many, well, there aren't any other places in the world where you can see a kangaroo. So it's a kind of a novelty, really, isn't it? I've never seen a kangaroo.
Well,
I haven't been to Australia, but it's on my list.
Yeah.
So, ladies, oh, I will, for sure. So, ladies, what have you learned along the way?
It's a lot of hard work. Everybody's needs and everybody's expectations are different, and and learning to understand what expectations guests have when they arrive.
Learning flexibility as well. I mean, as Maggie said, everybody's different, and everybody's needs and wants vary. So we have to be very flexible, very understanding, patient, and provide that for them within reason, obviously. But you know, and it works really well for us, and we're successful at doing that. And I think we have that sensitivity and that understanding, so we're able to pretty successfully provide that to guests. So I think that is probably one of the biggest things that we've learned, is how to just, you know, deal with people's different
needs. And it's not even so much the needs, it's their expectations. And I've learned how to poach an egg.
Very well. But yeah, and I think what we've learned as well is we set the bar pretty high when we opened up 7 years ago, and to continue to increase the bar, you know, raise the bar a little bit more. So it's always about being innovative. It's always coming up with new things. It's always staying on top of those new trends and being able to offer that to the guests. The younger people, you know, like different things than maybe the older generation. And so it's age groups as well and their expectations. So it really is learning about people, learning about trends, staying on top of it all, and always providing the newest and the latest if we can. But there's some things that we don't, just because ethically or because of values, they're not good for the environment. So some things we don't do, but we explain why. If people, you know, where's your coffee pod machine? You know, well, here's the reasons we don't have one. You know,
read the blog.
But trends in food really is pretty big.
It's a big one, yeah. Because we try to give people a great breakfast experience, no matter what their wants and needs are. And, you know, when you have a vegetarian who leaves and says, this is the first time ever I didn't look at my partner's plate and wish I could eat what she was having. And when you get that sort of thing, well, this is the first time I've actually had a waffle since I, you know, became gluten-free, when I made her a brown rice waffle. So just that kind of stuff, you know, we learn different cooking methods and techniques. And when you get that kind of feedback, it's like, yes, it's worth it.
And, you know, I think we've learned to do that. Generally speaking, people are absolutely, they're wonderful. They're gracious, they're generous, they're thankful. You know, we've had a few incidents, but you do as with any business. And we've learned how to deal with that effectively. You know, we didn't at first, but a few of the challenges that we have been faced with over the years, and very few, thankfully, we've had to learn how to, you know, face that, deal with it effectively as professional business people as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you were starting all over again, what would you do? What would you have done differently?
I don't know. We would have done a whole lot differently. I mean, the business has grown. It's grown fast, but I don't know that we've really done anything differently at all.
I mean, we're still adding things to make. I mean, we listen to guest feedback.
Yeah.
And so even if it's just one or two people that gives us feedback, we try to implement that into changes. You know, I mean, somebody said, well, on our feedback form, it would be nice if you had magnifying mirrors. And I thought, well, yeah, that's a good point. So in our little accessory, complimentary, you know, baskets with the amenities, I've put in little, you know, 10 times magnifying, you know, mirrors, you know, so we've learned that it's important for us to listen also. But as far as doing anything different, I really
can't really think of anything. I mean, some things, like our jacuzzi has been a real struggle. Because we use ozone, and that's not recognised here in Western Australia as an approved sanitizer. They wanted us to use chlorine. We refused. We had to close down the jacuzzi, and so that was really difficult. And you know, we did eventually get an exemption, and it's back open again. I think we've learnt how to use the jacuzzi sort of more effectively. Without inconveniencing the guests. So yeah, maybe if we'd known that way back when, it might have saved a bit of heartache.
That's hindsight.
Yeah, it's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But no, I think we've grown. We continue to grow, and I guess that's all you can ask for in any business.
Yeah. So
maybe start the award process earlier.
So, I mean, I looked on your website and I counted up 19 awards, ladies. That's absolutely fantastic.
Really? I haven't even counted. I have no idea.
And the last one's not up there yet.
I wondered about that. I mean, every time I see you on Facebook, you know, Maggie and Becki have won another award. I'm like, wow. So I'm curious. Everybody is doing the best they can for their guests. Everybody says, you know, our guests' comfort and their experience is our top priority. Everyone says that, right? So what do you think is the thing that you do? What's your secret sauce?
Oh, you want us to expose that, do you?
Only if you're comfortable.
Oh.
Look, I think it's our location that you know, makes us successful. I think like when it comes to the award process, and that's sort of something that to us is important, because it's the one time that you actually have a chance to work on your business rather than in your business. And I think a lot of people get so bogged down in the day-to-day running of their business, they don't spend that time actually working on the business. And I think what puts us ahead is that we spend that time with doing the awards, and we will sit down together and we go through the questions. And as you tease out the questions and find out exactly what it is that they're asking, all these ideas start coming into, to the fore. And then you start talking about it and go, wow, there would be a really good idea if we could actually do this. And so we try and, implement new ideas as we're going through the award process. And I think that gives us an edge over and above people that don't participate in awards, because they think that just working in the business takes up all their time. If you don't take time out of your business to look at the running of your business, like, I don't know, we have a file and it's full of like environmental policies and customer service policies. How do you deal with unsatisfied customers? Risk management, disabilities. How do you deal with different kinds of people with different sorts of disabilities? All your licenses and permits, to make sure that all of those are up to date. So all of those things become part of your processes when you're doing awards, but are also such an important part of running a successful business, even if it is just 3 rooms.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 words that would sum it up on a personal level. Maggie's talking about the business aspect of it, but there's also a personal aspect, and I think that's our passion and our authenticity.
Yeah.
And being consistent. Consistent. Yeah.
I can definitely, I can see that from, just talking to you here. But what you say, Maggie, about, taking the time out to work on your business is so important, because this business is very full on. Like you said earlier, it's hard work. It's very full on. And if you don't take time out to kind of look at the big picture and take a good look about what you're doing, and give yourself, the space to think and to imagine, then, you're always going to be at the coalface, and it's not, it doesn't move things forward, does it?
Well, it doesn't. And I think a lot of people, and that's in any business, regardless of what, tourism or whatever, if you don't take that time to grow your business, then you just stay where you are, stagnant. And
well, you either grow, sorry.
I mean, everything's evolving. Things are constantly changing, and unless you stay up with it, and unless you consistently innovate, and most of the award questions are about what's your innovation in marketing, what innovative ideas have you come up with in the past 12 months? They're the kind of questions, and it's like, okay, we're going to be asked that question again next year. So let's start thinking about what else can we do? And so you just continue to grow.
So the awards process is really about giving you the opportunity to look at the big picture and to innovate. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you keep winning them.
We'll keep winning. But it also makes sure that all your business processes are up to date.
Yeah. Fabulous.
And it's hard work. It's hard work. Those submissions take hundreds of hours and many months, when you start working on ours way before.
Yeah, they do, yeah. So what do you got planned for the future?
Well, we'll ride out this high first. I mean, this was by far our biggest award, because it was a national award. So we're still on a real high with that one. We don't know. Yeah. We'll just,
at some point, we'd like to take time out to go traveling and to be pampered and looked after for a while. Whether it's on a river cruise and through Europe, or in a motorhome driving around Australia, we're not sure. We still have, you know, the busy seasons here, and that's our focus. And as we get older, obviously, every year, yeah, the time will come, but we don't have any definite long-term plans at this point.
Just enjoying it.
We're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, just
While we're
enjoying
healthy and we can.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, it gives us an income. It gives us the opportunity to live in an absolutely beautiful, beautiful home in an absolutely gorgeous location, and being able to be together and working together. So that's, you know, that's such a blessing.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's a lifestyle.
Well, it is. It's a lifestyle.
And not that we do, but we know that the freedom is there if we wanted to close up and to just take some time away for ourselves.
Yeah.
We can do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that option is always there for, okay, we need 3 or 4 days off, you know. We always say it, but when it comes down to actually doing it, it's like, yeah, but we might miss meetings of gorgeous people. You know?
Well, we did. We just closed down for 5 days and went to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. So where can we find you? What are your contact details and your web address?
Our web address is hideaway-haven.com.au, and you can email us on hideaway.haven@westnet.com.au.
Find us on Facebook.
And you can find us on Facebook under Albany, Hideaway Haven, Albany, Western Australia.
Fabulous.
And TripAdvisor.
Oh, you can find us on TripAdvisor.
Of course. Absolutely. Of course. Wonderful.
And would you like to see your very first kangaroo?
Oh, yes, please. Have you got one?
Yeah, we've got one. She's hanging in her frame. She's a little bit tired, so she's taking a little nap. But we've got Josie, and how old is our Josie now? She's about 18 months, almost 10 kilos. Another 3 kilos, and she'll be able to be released. So she's still on a couple bottles a day, and Maggie's just bringing her over now.
So do you keep them as pets?
No.
Her mum was killed in a car accident.
Oh, look. Oh, look. What's her name? Josie.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous. Oh.
Her mom was hit by a car, and in Australia, anytime there's a kangaroo on the side of the road, Aussies are just, learn that you stop and you check the pouch and to see if there's a joey, and if there is, you get the joey out, wrap it up, and get it to a wildlife care. So we've saved 2 now, and yeah. But no, you're not allowed to keep them as pets. She roams around, hops around during the day. She's free in our area to come and go as she pleases, but she's always in at night. It's a safe haven for her at nighttime. She's not old enough to be out on her own yet, but during the day she's sticks pretty close to the property in the house, so she knows we're around.
So this is the second one. The other one that we had, she's a year older. She's about 2 years and a month old. She was 2 weeks ago was chased by dogs, and she now has what they call myopathy, which is where the lactate goes into their joints. And Josie actually found her and brought me to her, and I picked her up, and she was completely paralyzed.
Oh.
So we weren't actually able to take her ourselves because we don't have the facilities. So she's currently at a wildlife rehabilitation centre about 45 minutes from here. And when we came back from Melbourne, we popped in and saw her, and I went with my daughter today to go see her. We don't know whether she'll ever fully recover. It's a really horrific disease. for a kangaroo to get. So we're using, you know, our media, our social media to raise awareness for what dogs can do to our wildlife.
Oh, well, she's beautiful. Well done. Ladies, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Lovely to meet you, and
yeah.
Good luck with your venture as well. It's awesome.
Thank you, thank you. So
bye from Australia.
Bye-bye from France, and bye-bye to Josie, and thanks so much.
Thanks Yvonne. Bye-bye.